I mean, who saw that one coming? Who saw that one coming? The Miami Heat with the 20th pick end up taking Kasparas Jakučionis, 19-year-old out of Illinois, freshman, all around scorer, all around passer, facilitator, just very, very skillful player, and a player that fell to the Miami Heat pretty drastically because he was a projected lottery pick in this draft, around 10 to 14. I even saw mock drafts when I was earlier in the college basketball season that had him in that top 5 range, but of course I think he fell out of that towards the end of the season, but still a really, really good player. Was projected to be in the lottery. Yeah, ended up falling all the way to the Heat. And the guy that crazy play of the cards for the Miami Heat, because the guy that the Heat were looking to take and the guy that looked like the Heat were going to take with his answers leading up to the draft interviews, after the Heat working him out twice, canceling workouts, Walter Clayton Jr. ended up being snagged 2 picks before the Heat could possibly take him. He got snagged by the Utah Jazz. Yeah, the Utah Jazz, who ended up taking Ace Bailey also. The Utah Jazz getting Walter Clayton, um, college experience scorer, and then taking a chance on Ace Bailey, who probably doesn't even want to play there. But yeah, the Heat ended up taking Gasparos. I'm gonna have trouble saying his name. Holy crap, Kasparas Jakučionis out of Illinois. Surprising pick. A fall and a thankful fall that he took. And I wonder if if Walter Clayton was there and Jakučionis was there, who were they taking? Because they worked out Walter Clayton, but they didn't work out Jakučionis because they thought he wouldn't even fall to them. But he ended up falling to them. So thankfully he fell to us. Really I liked him in the college season with Illinois. And I like him now. Of course I like him that the Heat drafted him. A point guard who could score, facilitate. He's big, 6'6". He's European. He's on the slower side of the point guard scale. His defense is questionable, but he can snipe. He can extend. He can extend the floor and shoot the shit out of the ball. He got range on him. He got some range on him. So it's going to be a very, very interesting pick, and a pick that definitely was like best on the board, best available. It wasn't a team fit pick. I mean, even though they need a guard, of course, but it was still kind of more of a best available pick for Kasparas Jakučionis. But I'm excited with the pick. I think everybody from the Heat fans are excited with the pick. You can see on Twitter, everybody's celebrating the pick, saying, and even Bill Simmons saying we have the steal of the draft. But he was Big Ten third team list last season, all freshman team player. He averaged 15, 5, and 5, and the only other player from a power conference to do that was the number 1 pick, Cooper, super duper Cooper Flag. So there gives you a little hope there. A little hope in the draft pick. Best pick and roll player in the draft. What else is it? And it was a steal. It was a steal for the draft. And also, I like that he's 19 years old. Because with Walter Clayton, he's experienced. He's a senior. He's 22 years old. Kasparas Jakučionis could be 2 years from being 2 years away and still be 24 when he's there. While on the other end, Walter Clayton, expect him to come out a little bit more experienced, a little bit, more of an NBA ready player, but he's probably not going to have as much star potential as Jakučionis will, and Jakučionis does have that potential. He's only 19 years old. He played overseas basketball with grown men in Barcelona. He's from Lithuania. So he still has that experience, but he's still young, and he could still be unlimited potential for a player, and his skill set shows he has unlimited potential. The only problems is averages 15, 5, and 5, but with that it comes 4 turnovers a game, which when you're handling the ball in college, it's a lot of aggressive defense. You're a freshman, it's hard. He was running out there with Will Hardy. Illinois weren't no bums out there, but it was really him and Will Riley out there. Like, he's going to turn the ball over, and with the Heat system, he'll learn not to turn the ball over. And I'm pretty sure he's not even going to start. So his defense, turnovers, he'll work the kinks out off the bench. Because the Heat do not start the rookies. They started Khalil Ware. Didn't start Khalil Ware until their season was halfway down the damn drain. And then it looked like it worked. And Spo still doesn't play, Khalil Ware through the final minutes. So you won't probably see Jakučionis starting anytime soon. I hope he starts because we need a guard next to Hero to take him off of the ball, and Jakučionis can do that. Jakučionis can play make. Jakučionis can facilitate and shoot and just be a scorer and playmaker at the same time with his ball handling skills. So I would like him to start. You know, it would be the beg the question. There's a position battle with him and Davion Mitchell, but I'm pretty sure the Heat, when the Heat, they go with the experience, they go with the defense, they go with the guy that's already been there, Davion Mitchell, who's going to be the starting point guard. As long as they bring him back, which in the last video we discussed the possibility of him not being back in a Heat uniform, even though he is a restricted free agent. Here's what else. Of course, no one expected him to be there at 20. That's why he didn't work out. That's what Adam Simon did say. And also, it's interesting because I said at the beginning, this is seems like steal type pick. You go get the best player right there, even if you didn't work him out, even if he's not an older player, which I thought the Heat were going to target because the Heat are always trying to win. So I thought they were going to go with the older player. That's why I thought they liked Walter Clayton. That's part of the reason they liked Walter Clayton, besides his guard abilities and besides his ability to shoot and score. But now I think the direction is clear now that I looked at the roster. And I like the roster's fun. Fun young players. You know, it's going to be interesting to watch with Jaquez, Jovic, Ware, Jakučionis now, Pella even got some playing time. He was interesting. So you're going with the young guns. Going full out young, and I'm here for it. If you're gonna go full out young, go full out young, and let's have some fun with it. Let's see what happens. Not gonna compete, obviously, but now looking at the roster, I think the direction is the Heat not trading for KD, obviously, went over that, and going for the best available. But I think it's a sort of rebuild they have without totally pulling apart the team. You know, it's not a total rebuild, but it's kind of a rebuild built through the draft, which they've been doing, and they don't want to give up on this plan that they have of building through the draft. You know, they stuck with Jaquez, didn't want to trade Jovic, didn't want to trade Ware, so they stuck with their draft pieces, and I trust their draft pieces. Their drafting is not an issue with the Heat, especially with Adam Simon. His drafting's not an issue. We saw it Ware banger for the value. Jaquez, really good rookie season, looked like a banger for the value. Kind of sophomore slump, we'll see. Jovic is damn pretty good for the value. You know, the Heat always have the later draft picks. Nothing ever beyond 14, besides when you draft Justice Winslow. So for the value, these players turn out good. Pelle Larsson, second round pick, he got some play in NBA. He was decent, he even started some games. So the value for the Miami Heat drafting is good. The only thing I had was, of course, going after a star, but the Heat look like they are trying to build through the draft, and why not? Let's see what this young team can do. I mean, at least now they got some hope. Not the hope, they just got some of the pressure from not getting KD off of their shoulders, because the Heat fans and me are excited about this pick, about the steal that they got, and that the steal everybody's talking about. A guy who could shoot, a guy who can dribble, a guy who can finish at the rim, a guy who can play make, pick and roll. He could throw lobs to Ware, throw lobs to Bam. Let's get him in that starting lineup. Let's get him in that Heat culture. Let's get him in that practice. Get some muscle on him. Turn him into a dog. He is already a dog. That's also another thing. He has great toughness. He's a dog. But turn him into a better defender. Let's see what he do. Hey, and he wasn't sleeping today. He was not sleeping today. That boy Pat Riley was pumped about the pick. Let's look at this clip going a little viral on Heat Twitter here.
I have no gonna bring a scrub on that squad. We know they're gonna find dudes that can contribute, Bob. We not
look at him giving a little. Look at him. He's giving a little finger guns here. Bang, bang, bang. He just hit in the draft. You know, he just hit a 3 from deep for game in the draft. You know, the Heat won with this shit. The front office won me over with this draft pick. They didn't win me over completely on their decision making, but for today, they won me over with the draft. Lastly, Fams, right before the Heat picked, he popped in with a little news, with a little reporting on what's going on with the Miami Heat, and it involved talking about Jonathan Kuminga. Let's see.
About what Miami is looking toward this offseason, and even starting with tonight.
After missing out on Kevin Durant, the Miami Heat are remaining active, and when you look into free agency, one name to keep an eye on that I'm told they are expected to be a potential suitor for is Warriors restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga. And the Warriors are comfortable potentially bringing Kuminga back in free agency, but they also are keeping an open mind as far as working through potential sign and trade possibilities. So Jonathan Kuminga, a couple other targets potentially for the Heat, whether it's in free agency or trade here over the next week or two.
Interesting, because I wasn't fully, like, I saw the rumblings about Jonathan Kuminga and the Heat maintaining activity in the trade market prior to the NBA draft, starting throughout the NBA draft on Twitter. But you know, the Legion Hoops, the Hoop Centrals, they kind of reach for stuff to talk about by like going to like more underground reporters that are still reporters, journalists, credible, you know. But when Sham says it, it's real. So the Heat clearly have interest in Jonathan Kuminga, which would be interesting now. What would I be willing to give up for Jonathan Kuminga is Andrew Wiggins and a little something else. Because it would be interesting to have Jonathan Kuminga. Young player, still has some potential. He showed potential through previous season. This season, he came back a little bit towards the end, but he worked his way out of the rotation for the Warriors earlier in the season. So, the Warriors, I guess, they're trying to keep Kuminga. They're comfortable keeping Kuminga, as he said, but not still open to offers. So maybe we get Andrew Wiggins over there, persuade him with Andrew Wiggins, who Warriors love over there. The fan base loves, the front office loves. Hopefully, I'll do it. I don't have anything, no attachment to Andrew Wiggins. I didn't care too much. He didn't play crazy. He actually underwhelmed me with his play a little bit, besides a 40-point game against the Charlotte Hornets to break our 10-game losing streak. He didn't wow me very much with his play, but we can trade Andrew Wiggins for Jonathan Kuminga. So do it, as long as the cap and everything aligns. I also saw, I think if the Heat make an Andrew Wiggins trade, they do clear a lot of cap for 2026. So if we're going all young guys this season, clearing cap for 2026, you better hit in 2026 or it's completely over. Front office will have a protest outside the building. But yeah, Jonathan Kuminga, I guess the talks are getting a little bit more serious with Shams reporting the news, not just Legion Hoops on Twitter, who has all the credibility because they're pretty good. But when Shams says it, it's real. We already learned that. But other than that, Heat banger of a draft, honestly. Round 2 tomorrow. Kasparas Jakučionis, can't wait to see him in the Summer League. Can't wait to see him in a Heat jersey. Hopefully he's good enough to start. That will be very, very interesting. Direction is clear. Heat going for the Young Guns playing the Young Guns. We'll have another video on a little something else. I don't know yet. A little something else later.